On the road that oil built in Weld County, a warning to keep your eyes peeled. It's hard to miss the big sign a friendly neighbor posted in his yard along County Road 49, warning of a speed trap 4 miles ahead. Easier to miss the small construction sign warning of a photo radar a few hundred feet ahead.
But it drops from 65 to 55 to 45.
And your eyes will bulge at the ticket you might get if you miss that sign.
And I was like, $340, and I was shocked.
Tracy Miller called Steve on Your Side after she got a photo radar ticket that didn't make any sense.
I was just in my mind like, this has got to be a typo.
Ashley Mrazek, who lives a couple miles up the road, says she's already gotten 6 of them, all delivered weeks after she's accused of driving too fast.
I've gotten so many $340 tickets that I just can't afford them right now.
Both of them drove through this stretch of Weld County where the speed limit reduces from 65 miles an hour to 45 miles an hour in less than a quarter of a mile. The camera sits not far from that 45 sign.
I literally looked up the statute that says the maximum is $40. So I did write to them and say, can you explain to me where you came up with the extra $300?
Tracy still hasn't gotten a response back, but Tracy's right. A recent change in Colorado state law allows municipalities to use photo radar to issue tickets. But the law sets limits on what municipalities can charge for those tickets. $40 in a normal stretch of road or $80 in a school or construction zone. This spot isn't a school or construction zone.
I think it's definitely a speed trap, and it's a moneymaker for the town of KUSA.
It is a moneymaker. Steve on Your Side learned since May the town has already made about $316,000 writing $340 tickets alone, even though the town's own ordinance regulating speed cameras sets a much smaller cap on how much police are supposed to charge.
The council has said no. The most you can do is $40 to $80.
Criminal defense attorney Jeremy Lowe says rules in KUSA are pretty clearly laid out.
There's nothing illegal about speed traps. Once you hit that 45 mile per hour zone, you need to be going at that speed limit. And if you don't, the tickets themselves are allowed. What isn't allowed is the amount of money that they are charging.
So Steve on Your Side asked the police chief, who said the town ups the charge to $340 if drivers are found going 25 or more over. Both Tracy and Ashley were clocked in the 70s, passing that 45 sign. The chief claims a carve-out in state law allows this.
Certainly don't believe the bill allows for anything over the caps explicitly already in law.
Democratic State Representative Meg Froelich helped write that law and says what KUSA is doing was not necessarily the intent of that carve-out.
This is not meant to be a revenue generator for the local government. This is supposed to be a safety component, a tool in the toolkit to get folks to slow down.
He works for this town. He needs to follow this town's rules.
Lowe says anyone who gets a $340 photo ticket in KUSA should take it to court.
I bring up the law that shows that the most I can even charge is the $40.
What do you want people to know if they get a ticket going through here?
Challenge it or contact Steve and say, hey, is this legal?
So the chief argues anyone driving 25 or over the speed limit would technically be committing a criminal traffic offense worth 6 points on your license and a guaranteed court summons if a police officer pulled you over and gave you a ticket. These tickets don't come with any points, only that fee. When we asked the chief how this complies with his own town's ordinance, he replied that he's now reviewing that internally and he'll get back to us. I'm Steve Staeger, Steve on Your Side, 9 News.
So Steve, for all the people that have already paid that ticket, because we saw how much money, that it has generated, will they ever get their money back? $300 over $40?
It's a good question. The state law does have that little carve out, and it'll be interesting to see if the courts say that carve out worked. But in this case, KUSA's ordinance that they wrote specifically for photo radar says you can only charge $40 in that area. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody tries to challenge that. I'd imagine somebody would have to challenge it and say, I've already paid this, but I shouldn't have had to pay this. I'd imagine the next court date in KUSA Town Court is going to be a little busy.
Yeah. All right, Steve, thank you.
Yep.